tripod broke. um, so we'll just do this for now. But yeah, I've been a little busy. I have recently interviewed our mayor, and was about a bunch of different stuff, right? But I got some mixed reviews on certain categories, and I thought now would be a good time to reflect on some of that stuff and kind of segue because people are interested in, ooh, hello, in your boy getting a podcast type vibe going on. So, while we mess with this and get that cool, I'll be right back. Hey, y'all have to make coffee. I'm on a video, so you'll have to make some coffee, okay? But everybody on Facebook world can hear us. So, how'd you sleep? Well? Good. Very well. You sound good this morning. You feel well? A fizz. Fits. Alright, well, I can always pause this and get your medicine and come back. Boom. Alright, well, let's see. So yeah, what I was trying to say before I had to come back and get my coffee was recently I've interviewed the mayor, right? And it was about different topics. And I've been in a reflective state, almost a euphoric state also with this. And some of the things that, I really enjoyed with my talk with the mayor was the way that it was mature and we could talk about the hard stuff that maybe we maybe didn't agree on, but we could respect one another to sit there and hear each other out, but the whole interview was like an hour long, and I was like, I don't know how many people can watch something that long, because I myself struggle sometimes to be able to pay attention, and I decided, hey, let's just clip it out, So I did the little sections, water quality, yada yada, elderly concerns, and then LGBTQ rights, okay? Those come up, and for whatever reason, the most colorful thing you could think of, a rainbow, triggers people, right? And one of the things that we talked about in this was about how people will people would rather judge you than to get to know you or educate themselves on something, and about how hate is a learned behavior, right? And a lot of times it could be learned at home, or acceptance isn't available at home, and so we're taught all these things, and we can't hold ourselves, we can't be upset with the way that we are taught things, right? because once we grow up, it's on us to figure out, do we still resonate with the beliefs that we were taught, right? Because when you're young, you're still impressionable, and um, people are going to just teach you things that they think were helpful for them, and not all the time that's not necessarily accurate, you know. And the blue moon, that's why I have this back here, is about releasing things that no longer serve you, um, old patterns, old ways of thinking, you know. And I thought that this would be a perfect time to jump back on here to encourage people, you know, like, it's okay to not hold the same thoughts that you had when you were 10. It's okay to not hold the same thoughts that you had last week if you don't want to. Um, uh, I'll be right back. Yes, ma'am. Uh-oh. Hold on, I got you. These might be tighter than the other ones, I think. Dag, say hey to the people.
Hey to the people. I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. You come first, they come second. Then comes, you welcome. We're just in a reflective state in there, and so this will be available to view later on. Okay? Make your coffee. I'll help you with your treatment then, okay? Just take your pills and hang out. Alright. Sorry about that. It's okay if I lost people. You know, we don't always get to do things in the full clips and all that stuff. But so I'm back to say, um, you know, when I posted these clips, right, in the local Facebook page to try to help inform people and make it easier so they didn't have to spend their whole attention span on, you know, a whole video, right? So the LGBTQ rights, apparently that triggers people when you say rights, because everybody has the same rights, blah, 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 right? And you would think that, but yet folks are still subject to different treatment, right? Even though, hey, that's my friend Nicho. What's up, buddy? Hi, honey, how you doing? Uh, what I'm talking about is the way that people, most of the time, they are quick to judge people, and even though we've learned things, we don't always have to stay in that same mindset. And people think things like, you know, your race, your sexual identity, your sexual preference, your job, your living situation, we all take these things and categorize them and group ourselves and, you know, hold on tightly to these type of things, and then we lose track of the fact that we're all still human beings, and that we all deserve the same type of respect and the same type of love, and, you know, we're all on the same journey. And although we don't have the same, you know, beliefs or the same anything, I think that's actually in turn what makes the world a beautiful place. Because imagine if we were all the same, it would be pretty gray. And back to what I was saying about how the mayor and I sat down and talked about, you know, how it starts in the home and things are learned at home. And I had some people in this group like really give me a hard time, right? And they leaned on the Bible to say about how it's so wrong and to be gay or to be transgender and love the sin but not the sin, or love the sinner but not the sin, and to love everybody the same. And then they talked about how they respect people, but then in the same breath they turned around and they were like, well, I'm straight, har har har, what's the difference, and in turn mocking a situation instead of actually showing respect, you know and it's like, if people were truly respectful, they wouldn't be in turn mocking, or they wouldn't be in turn uh, just, it's like a backhanded compliment in a way. And uh, my thing is, like, when they use the Bible, right? When they use the Bible um, to confirm their uh, hate in their heart. Oh, the Bible's against this, right? But then if you're like, well, the Bible also says, that the kingdom of heaven is within you, then people don't know what to say to that, because then it becomes, well, what part of the Bible do you want to believe? Do you want to believe, like, genuinely that the kingdom of heaven is within you, or do you want to believe that it's up in the clouds? And, like, what? I mean, this is not to be disrespectful, and I'm not trying to get sidetracked here, right? But these are just thoughts, right? So, part of a social media journey and part of a podcast is your thoughts being raw and unfiltered. And so that's what we have here today. And uh, hopefully people can appreciate that. I had this lady who is 75, almost on her 8th decade here, and a comment that she had made was, I wish that they didn't take straight people's money for a pride picnic. And that's the same kind of person that hides behind Bible scripture. And then it's like those type of people who do put a bad taste in your mouth, just in the same that one bad transgender person or one bad gay person can put a bad taste in somebody's mouth for a whole community. We have to, and it's sad because, again, we've all put ourselves in different boxes. And the truth is that there is not a box. We're separating ourselves based on ego. And if we can let that go, then it would be a much more beautiful place. There wouldn't be all these ugly things in the world, because we're doing it to ourselves, right? We are projecting things, and sometimes it's things that we feel about ourselves outward onto others, whether it's ugly or not. But the power there is that if it's not an ugly thought that you're projecting, you're speaking life into someone versus trying to dim their light. And I think that that's beautiful. So, it's duality, uh, polarity, however, that you see fit, you know. All this just to say, like, I commented back to that lady, and I'm like, ma'am, do you know how much, like, ignorance is in that statement? And she had other comments in the same thread and yada yada, and I was respectful to her the entire time. Even in this comment where I told her she was ignorant, because again, ignorant just means you're not knowing of something. which goes back to previous statements I've made about how, people choose to not learn things. People choose to stray away from things because they don't like to be uncomfortable, and the truth is that we're here to grow and to evolve. Whether you can believe in reincarnation or not, I personally believe that we are here to learn lessons, and when our time is up here, it's uh it's possible, that our soul comes back because we might not have learned something that we should have learned in a previous life cycle. And um again, this is just another perspective and another mindset of how the brain can work, right? Because just because I don't resonate with certain things, or you don't resonate with certain things that I say, doesn't mean that we need to, talk down on one another or be nasty, because we're all just here trying to figure it out. And I think that is, that was a refreshing uh, realization for me to find, is that um, we're all just here, figuring it out, and we all feel so big, insignificant, but we're not, like we're all versions of the universe. I mean, when you say it like that, we are big, but we're bigger than our body. How's that sound? We're bigger than our body. That makes more sense, right? And I think there's a John Mayer song like that. I'm bigger than my body gives me credit for, you know. Um, if you've ever used a virtual headset, when you put that thing on, uh, you have to draw a grid or a boundary. And typically, when you have the headset on, any other time, you only can see what's projected inside of it. But when you have the option to draw this boundary, you see through the entire mask of the VR headset. And then you're able to draw this boundary, whether that's in your living room, whether that's in your basement, etc. You can see the room that you're in through the headset, and you're drawing a grid on a grid. And I think that goes along with saying, everything is in your mind, right? Perception, how you view reality, it's in your mind. Like if you are viewing it in a way that, it's just nasty, and oh, there's straight people money and gay money, and like that is that is hard, to to think about it like that, and to feel as though we are separate when we're not. I feel for those people. Like, I used to get offended and really lose my self-worth with people that would say things like that, or just, really try to make me feel some kind of way. But the truth is, they feel these things about themselves, or they feel, again, afraid of education. Society has taught us so much, like it has been ingrained in us so much to find an identity. Like we're given that as soon as we're born, right? Like, because why do you have to put a religion or anything like that on a birth certificate? What is that about? And you're given an identity. Even like you don't choose your name when you're born, your parents choose that. And so, I mean, you're probably like, well, duh, you can't talk. But what I'm trying to say is like, from the moment you're born, you're given an identity, and we spend our entire lives chasing this identity of what, like, who we think society says we should be, or, you know, uh, like how should we act, right? And I, I mean, if we were like told today, everything that we've ever been taught, right, was a lie, or like, what would we do, right? Like, all of this just didn't matter, and we have, like, what would we actually say? What would we do? Would the things that you fought with people about matter? Would, you know, somebody's gender or somebody's, political preference or anything like that, would that genuinely matter in the grand scheme of things? When you can put your ego over here and drop it, leave it at the door, you know, then maybe, yeah. But again, society, and I feel like America especially, wants, like, you drive your ego all the time, all the time. We feed that sucker, right? We feed it. And I've done it. I'm like, oh, well, I'm not being manly enough. I'm not doing this the right way. This isn't masculine. Why am I doing that? Well, because, you know, there have been things that have been hidden from us, like the Book of Enoch, where that'll tell you that we are all both male and female, because we are divine feminine, excuse me, divine feminine and divine masculine beings, right? And so when you have knowledge like that, people can't really demonize transgender people, or, I mean, they can try, but when you know that they just lack the information, because, I mean, it also talks about consciousness and how, everything is within here. And of course, they would hide that book, right? Of course, they would hide that book and get you to believe and put all of the power outside of yourself. And I realize that it's Sunday, so this might be a risky day to talk about this stuff, but in the grand scheme of things, there is no bad time, right? Because the right people will see this video, and the people who aren't ready and aren't on that frequency to watch this video without some type of trigger or, lens on themselves, then they won't see it, right? And I want to be clear that I don't claim to have everything figured out, because I absolutely don't. But what I can tell you 100% is that people are capable of change. They just have to want it for themselves. I am a prime example of that. And I think it's time that I'm the light for others who have been casted out, who have been made to feel like the dark is the only place for them, and who have just been led astray by whether it be family or, you know, I mean, Hollywood, if you really look up to those people, anything where you feel like you've been made to feel like you're less than. I'm the light, I'm the dust buster, I'm here to get you out of that. And I mean, to be honest, I've had podcast equipment for over a year, and I've been afraid of shining that light because I didn't want people to think that I was being egotistical and trying to tell people how to live, because I'm not doing that. I am, however, trying to provide, you know, little like stepping stones or little sprinkles of hope, whatever you want to call them, to shine an awareness on uh, hope and faith and humanity, spiritual growth, and all those type of things in between. I'm gonna cut this short though and share it and see how it goes with the reviews, and hopefully we meet again, and I know we will. But all of this right now just to say, sit down with your thoughts that you currently hold, and decide if those thoughts are actually yours, or if they are thoughts that have been projected onto you, programmed into you. And if you find that you don't resonate with these thoughts anymore, it's okay to sit down and unlearn things and to relearn things and evolve and grow. That's what we're here for. That's why there's a blue moon tonight. I love y'all. Take care of everybody.